It finally happened. It finally happened. The man, Jussie Smollet, has been convicted.
Jussie Smollet is very famous French actor.
Oh man, we're just gonna get right into the video. This is a clip from NBC to finalize, because this happened a while ago, by the way. This is not breaking news, but I just wanted to watch it just to see if finally this man's been actually convicted. And let's watch it together. Let's see.
Now at 7, guilty actor Jussie Smollet convicted on 5 of the 6 counts he was facing after being accused of staging a hate crime. We thank you so much for joining us tonight at 7 o'clock. I'm Natalie Cashapp. That verdict read just about 30 minutes ago. So now the question is, will he serve time behind bars? Well, Chief Investigative Reporter Jonathan Dienst in the newsroom with the very latest, John.
Yeah, Natalie, it took the jury 9 hours over 2 days to find him guilty on 5 of the 6 lying-related charges. Smollet, who is black and gay, was convicted of making up a story of being assaulted in a hate attack. For years, his allegations had raised questions of race, hate, and lies surrounding his claims, which affected the city of Chicago and beyond. Today, a jury said he was lying. Jussie Smollet arrived at the courthouse just after 6 p.m. to learn his fate. He was surrounded by his family. Within minutes, the verdict was read guilty on 5 disorderly conduct-related counts. Count 1, lying to police that he was victim of a hate crime. Count 2, lying that he had been beaten. Counts 3 and 4, making similar lies to another officer. And count 5, telling a false claim again to police. But on count 6, lying to yet another officer, he was found not guilty.
It's really funny that somebody could get all this just from lying. The jury just had to make up some more counts to make this thing even worth it. Because they literally, all of that could just be one count of lying.
Men and 6 women reaching their verdict. It's now up to the judge to decide if or how much jail time he should get. The former Empire actor was arrested soon after the January 2019 incident. Chicago police body cameras were rolling as Smollet reported 2 light-skinned men shouted racist and homophobic slurs, threw bleach, and put a noose around his neck as he went to grab food at 2 a.m. His story soon began to unravel when brothers Ola and Bola Osundaro told police they were paid $3,500 to carry out the choreographed attack. Surveillance video recorded them purchasing supplies and canvassing the block where the attack would occur. On the stand, Smollet testified he paid the brothers for a diet and exercise plan. They had worked as background actors on Empire. During the trial, defense attorneys called the brothers certified liars, that Smollet has been consistent with his story the entire time. And they said prosecutors offered no clear motive for the lie. Special prosecutors say Smollet was dissatisfied with show producers who weren't responsive to an earlier death threat made against him. During closing arguments, the prosecutors zeroed in on the actor, saying he was lying to police then and lying to the jury now.
There you have it, folks. Jussie is found guilty. Honestly, I didn't think this should have taken that long. They should have known when they told, even they changed his initial thing, because what he said initially was 2 white guys came up wearing MAGA hats, and this is by the way in Chicago. This is in Chicago. If you guys haven't been to Chicago, especially like downtown Chicago, that's not a place you should be wearing MAGA hats, especially in 2019. Like around when that whole Trump-ish thing was going on. Nah, his initial story was that 2 white guys came up, beat him up, took a sandwich. Wait, no, they didn't take a sandwich. He had a sandwich, but beat him up and threw bleach on him apparently, and all this other nonsense that everybody could tell this was bullshit. But here's the main issue that I do want to actually bring up to you guys, because a lot of people, there were a good amount of people who knew this was kind of BS, all right? Because we didn't have evidence, and honestly, everyone just listened to what he said, which is fine. But there comes to be a point where you have to start considering, is this person right or is this person wrong, especially when there are other consequences to your decision. For example, in this case, he was lying. So if he was telling the truth, it basically said a lot in terms of the whole, racial division that's kind of been in the US since like who knows how long. If he was right, like if this thing did happen, it would have honestly intensified the racial tensions between black, white, Asians, and Hispanics. But if he was found wrong, which he was, now that whole thing, because keep in mind, a hate crime is no joke. A hate crime is no joke. So actually coming out falsely saying that you experienced a hate crime, especially to the police, that's no laughing matter. So this is one of those times where false allegations tend to do more damage. Always does more damage actually, because there's nothing ever positive for false allegations. I know you guys out there who've probably watched some videos, especially when it comes to like court cases where some guy can come out from jail claiming that he was falsely accused of assaulting somebody, but that didn't happen. Same case. And one of the main reasons why false allegations do a lot of damage is because when somebody hears something falsely, because keep in mind, hate crimes against black people do exist. Hate crimes against gay people do exist. But the problem is when this case like this gets so much publicity, because he's an actor. Honestly, I've never heard of him until this whole fiasco happened. But he's still an actor. He has a good amount of following, so people are gonna pick up on this case. Celebrities, all that. It was trending. It was huge news. So when somebody like this uses his platform to actually make a false allegation, what it does, it basically trivializes other accusations made by people who actually may have genuinely experienced a hate crime. Because you guys can ask, okay, why would somebody come out and lie in front of all these people? The answer is very simple, because I'm pretty sure he wanted to use that to boost his career. He wanted to use that to jumpstart maybe even his own brand, a revolution of some kind. People who have selfish intentions, who are very narcissistic, who thinks the world revolves around them, aren't afraid of doing something like this. But that goes to a second point. Why did this get this much attention? Because keep in mind, the reason this got as much attention as he did was because he's fairly famous. Answer this question for me, alright? Why did nobody, alright, I said another celebrity for example, come out and say, wait, this might be BS? Why didn't anyone say that? The fact is, some people knew this was bullshit. Some people smelt it was bullshit. But the problem is, when you're a gay person and a black person and you're making a claim like that, it's almost impossible for somebody else to come out and say, even just saying, because I remember around that time, there were people, other YouTubers who came out saying we don't have all the evidence, we probably should wait. Even those guys were labeled racist and homophobic. Because keep in mind, right now we're just tossing those words anywhere. People do know, and you're going to be faced with these kind of situations a lot, where you're going to feel that you want to say the truth, or you want to say something, but you're being silenced, and you're not like, and this, I don't mean this in the sense that someone's holding your mouth shut. I mean in the sense that in this current age, there are a lot of ways to silence people without actually closing their mouth physically. There are a lot of ways to silence people without actively making any, I'll say, explicit actions against them. Whether it be from, political correctness, or maybe you're just trying to be more accepting, more progressive, whatever word you want to use. And I do understand that there's nothing wrong with that, by the way, because you're trying to keep yourself safe, you're trying to not push yourself, and you don't want to put yourself in the bullseye, and that's completely understandable. But in the future, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have times when you have to speak what you think is true, because even if it's not, like, let's say you were wrong, for example, but you gotta also speak it, because that's, if you don't speak, you're not gonna know if that thing you should have said would have made an impact somewhere. Because in this case with Jussie Smollet, people should have talked. People did talk, but the thing is, everybody pushed them down because they really wanted this thing to be true. But I do think the fact that people were actually suppressing other people who actually questioned the validity of Jussie's claim, I do think that's something that we do have to look at as a society. And even just in your own personal life, you gotta ask yourself, alright, why am I being silenced, or why do I feel silenced? I think that's kind of the main thing. So I do think what's probably going to happen is he's probably going to get some jail time just to at least appease other people who are kind of following this topic, because the whole thing is he's still a black person, he's still a gay person, and you know, even some people out there are still justifying what he did in the sense that saying that maybe this case was false, but you know, there are other cases out there that do happen. So I do think what's probably going to happen is he's probably not going to get any jail time, or he's going to get jail time but let off, I don't know, maybe like super early for some reason, you know, because that's how these things work. They're gonna have to, you have to appease the mob in some ways, and then once the mob is satisfied, you kind of just spin your BS around and, like, you know, just do what you want to do. That's kind of how the, you know, that's kind of how I feel the court system works sometimes. But yeah, let me know what you think. Do you think he's gonna get jail time? If you think he's gonna get jail time, how long?